Every ending holds the seed of a new beginning, yet we often resist the natural flow of life. Pain is not our enemy, it is a guide, a teacher, and a passageway to transformation. In the words of Neville Goddard, feeling is the secret. To truly heal, we must allow ourselves to feel deeply, to let go of resistance, and to trust in the power of imagination to create a brighter tomorrow. Let us explore how we can embrace this journey of letting go, healing, and stepping into the life we are destined to live. Accepting the end of a chapter in life is one of the most challenging yet liberating acts we can undertake. Often we cling to what is familiar, even when it no longer serves us, because it feels safe. The fear of the unknown can paralyze us, keeping us tethered to situations, relationships, or identities that no longer align with who we are becoming. However, the truth is that endings are a natural part of life. They are not punishments, but invitations to grow, to transform, and to step into a greater version of ourselves. To resist an ending is to resist life itself, for life is a continuous flow of beginnings and conclusions. The seasons change, the tides rise and fall, and the sun sets each evening only to rise again in the morning. Our lives are no different. When we embrace this truth, we free ourselves from the chains of resistance. The power of allowance lies in our ability to say, yes, this is happening. It does not mean we have to enjoy or celebrate the end of something significant, but it does mean we must acknowledge it. By allowing the reality of the situation to sink in, we begin to create space for what comes next. Imagine a river flowing effortlessly to the ocean. If a dam is built to block its path, the water becomes stagnant, losing its vitality and energy. Similarly, when we resist the natural endings in our lives, we become stuck, unable to move forward. By removing the dam of resistance, we allow ourselves to flow freely once again, bringing new opportunities, experiences, and growth into our lives. Many people fear that accepting an ending means giving up or admitting defeat. But this is a misunderstanding. Acceptance is not about surrendering to despair, it is about recognizing the larger picture. When one door closes, another truly opens, but we cannot see the new door if we are too focused on the one that has shut. Imagine holding tightly onto a branch in the middle of a river, afraid to let go. The current pushes against you, causing discomfort and struggle. But the moment you release your grip, the river carries you effortlessly to a new destination. Such is the power of allowance. It takes courage to let go of the branch, but in doing so, you open yourself to the journey ahead. Endings often bring pain, and this is where many falter. It is natural to grieve the loss of something meaningful. However, we must understand that pain is not our enemy. It is a signal, a guide that reminds us of the significance of what we have experienced. Allowing the pain to surface is an act of self compassion. It is a way of honoring what was while making room for what will be. Resistance to this pain only prolongs it, trapping us in a cycle of unresolved emotions. By allowing the hurt to emerge and flow through us, we begin the process of release. Acceptance also requires faith, faith in the unseen, faith in the flow of life, and faith in your ability to rise stronger on the other side. It is not about knowing exactly what will come next, but about trusting that the end of one chapter is the beginning of another, often even more beautiful than the one before. Life has an innate wisdom, and when we align ourselves with its flow, we find that what seemed like a loss is often a profound gain in disguise. Endings teach us resilience, patience, and the value of impermanence. They remind us that nothing is truly lost, it is simply transformed. Letting an ending take its course does not mean forgetting or erasing what came before. It means carrying the lessons, memories, and growth forward while releasing the attachment to how things should have been. This is the power of allowance to honor the past while stepping boldly into the future. When we allow the ending, we also allow the beginning. We become participants in the divine dance of life, trusting that every step, whether joyous or painful, leads us closer to our highest self. Pain is an inevitable part of life, yet our instinct is often to run from it, numb it, or pretend it does not exist. However, there is an extraordinary power in allowing ourselves to feel the full spectrum of emotions, including hurt. To heal, we must first acknowledge and embrace the pain. This act of feeling, as Neville Goddard so profoundly taught, is not a weakness but a gateway to transformation. Pain has a purpose, it is a teacher, a guide that brings awareness to areas of our lives that require change or growth. When we resist it, we only amplify its grip on us. But when we allow ourselves to feel it fully, we begin to understand its message. There is a tendency in modern culture to avoid discomfort at all costs. We distract ourselves with busyness, entertainment, or external pursuits, believing that if we ignore the pain long enough, it will disappear. But pain does not vanish through avoidance, it only burrows deeper into our subconscious, manifesting in ways we may not even recognize through irritability, anxiety, or a lingering sense of dissatisfaction. To feel pain is to confront it directly, to shine a light on the shadows within us. This is not an easy task, but it is a necessary one. It requires courage to sit with the discomfort and let it flow through us without judgment or resistance. When we allow ourselves to feel, we begin to understand that pain is not permanent. It is like a storm passing through the sky, intense and overwhelming at times, but always temporary. The key is to remain present with it, to observe it without becoming it. Pain, at its core, is energy that seeks to move through us. When we suppress it, we block its natural flow, causing it to linger. But when we allow it to surface, we create a path for it to move, transform, and eventually dissipate. Feeling the hurt also deepens our connection to ourselves. It is in these moments of raw vulnerability that we discover the depths of our strength and resilience. We realize that we are not defined by the pain we experience, but by how we choose to respond to it. Each time we face our pain instead of running from it, we build a greater capacity for growth and self compassion. We learn to trust ourselves, knowing that we have the inner resources to navigate even the most challenging emotions. This process is not about wallowing in misery or becoming consumed by the hurt. It is about giving ourselves permission to feel what needs to be felt so that we can release it. Imagine holding a tightly clenched fist. The longer you hold it, the more tension and discomfort you create. But the moment you allow your hand to relax, the tension dissipates. Feeling the pain works in a similar way. By leaning into it, we give ourselves the opportunity to release the emotional weight we carry. Neville Goddard often emphasized the power of the imagination, and this principle applies here as well. While feeling the pain, we can begin to imagine its transformation. We can envision the energy of the hurt dissolving, leaving behind clarity, peace, and strength. This is not an act of denial, but of intentional creation. By combining the act of feeling with the power of imagination, we align ourselves with the process of healing. Ultimately, to feel pain is to honor our humanity. It is a reminder that we are alive, that we care deeply, and that we are capable of immense growth. It is not something to be feared or avoided, but embraced as part of the journey. Through feeling, we open the door to healing. And through healing, we rediscover our wholeness, emerging on the other side stronger, wiser, and more connected to our true selves. Healing is a profound and sacred process, one that begins not in the outer world, but deep within. The art of healing is rooted in understanding that we are not merely passive recipients of life's challenges, but active participants in our own transformation. True healing requires us to move beyond the surface of pain and dive into the depths of our inner world, where the seeds of renewal are sown. It is here, within the quiet sanctuary of our imagination and faith, that the greatest shifts occur. Healing begins with a decision to trust in the unseen and to believe in the possibility of a better tomorrow. It is not about erasing the past or pretending the pain never existed, but about integrating the experiences into the fabric of our being in a way that empowers us. This process requires faith, not just in external circumstances changing, but in our own ability to rise above and reshape our inner reality. When we close our eyes and imagine ourselves whole, vibrant, and free, we activate a powerful creative force within. This is not wishful thinking, it is the deliberate act of aligning our inner state with the reality we wish to experience. The power of the mind and imagination in healing cannot be overstated. As Neville Goddard often taught, what we assume to be true within ourselves becomes reflected in our outer world. Healing, therefore, begins with the assumption of wellness, even when external evidence might suggest otherwise. This is not denial of reality, but a conscious choice to focus on what we desire to manifest rather than what we fear. The more vividly and consistently we imagine ourselves as healed and whole, the more our mind and body begin to align with that vision. Healing also requires patience and compassion for ourselves. It is not a linear process, but a journey with ups and downs, moments of clarity, and moments of doubt. There is no rush, for healing unfolds in its own time, much like a seed grows into a tree. What matters is our commitment to nurturing that growth. Each small step, each moment of self care, and each act of faith contributes to the larger process. We must allow ourselves the grace to move through this journey without judgment, recognizing that healing is not about perfection, but about progress. One of the most powerful tools for inner healing is forgiveness, not only of others, but also ourselves. Holding on to resentment or guilt is like carrying a heavy burden that weighs us down and prevents us from moving forward. Forgiveness is not about condoning hurtful actions or forgetting what happened. It is about releasing the emotional charge that keeps us tied to the pain. It is an act of liberation, freeing us from the grip of the past and allowing us to fully inhabit the present moment. Healing is also deeply connected to gratitude. Even amidst pain, there is always something to be thankful for: a lesson learned, a moment of connection, or the simple fact that we are alive and capable of growth. Gratitude shifts our focus from what is lacking to what is abundant, creating a fertile ground for healing to take root. When we cultivate a mindset of gratitude, we open ourselves to receive more of life's blessings. Finally, healing is an act of surrender. It is about trusting in the process even when we cannot see the full picture. There is a divine intelligence at work in the universe, and when we align ourselves with it, we allow healing to flow naturally. This does not mean we sit back and do nothing, it means we take inspired action while trusting in the outcome. The more we let go of the need to control every detail, the more we create space for miracles to unfold. Healing is not just about recovering from what has hurt us, it is about becoming more than we were before. It is a journey of transformation, a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, and a reminder that within us lies the power to create a life of wholeness, peace, and joy. Revisiting and reinterpreting painful experiences is one of the most profound acts of liberation we can undertake. When we cling to the original narrative of hurt, betrayal, or loss, we allow the past to dictate our present and future. But through the act of revision, we reclaim our power. Revision is not about denying what happened. It is about reshaping the emotional impact of the event so it no longer holds us captive. It is a process of rewriting the story in a way that frees us, empowers us, and aligns us with the person we wish to become. In the realm of imagination, time does not exist. The past, present, and future are all accessible, and this is where the power of revision lies. By revisiting a painful memory in our mind, we can consciously choose to see it differently. We can rewrite the script, altering the way we perceive the event and the meaning we assign to it. This does not change the factual occurrence, but it transforms its emotional resonance within us. For example, an act of rejection can be reimagined as a moment of redirection, a painful ending as the beginning of something greater. By changing the way we view the past, we change the way it influences our present. The first step in revision is awareness. We must identify the memories or experiences that continue to hold power over us. These are the moments we revisit repeatedly in our minds, often with feelings of anger, regret, or sadness. Once identified, we approach these memories with a sense of curiosity and a willingness to transform them. This is not about erasing the memory, but about neutralizing the negative emotions attached to it. In the act of revision, imagination becomes our most powerful tool. Neville Goddard taught that imagination is the creator of reality, and this principle applies to us to our past as much as it does to our future. When revisiting a painful memory, close your eyes and imagine it unfolding differently. See the people involved acting with kindness and understanding. Imagine yourself responding with strength and grace. Feel the relief, the joy, or the resolution that comes with this new version of events. The more vividly and emotionally you engage with this revised memory, the more effectively you alter its impact on your psyche. As you practice revision, you may notice a shift not only in how you feel about the past, but also in how you approach the present. The emotional energy that once drained you is replaced with a sense of empowerment and peace. This is because revision is not just an intellectual exercise, it is a transformative process that changes the vibration of your inner world. And as your inner world changes, so does your outer reality. Relationships improve, new opportunities arise, and life begins to reflect the peace and freedom you have cultivated within. Revision is also an act of forgiveness, both for others and for ourselves. When we revise a painful memory, we release the blame, anger, or guilt that has been weighing us down. We recognize that every person, including ourselves, acts from their own level of understanding and growth at any given moment. This does not excuse harmful actions, but it allows us to let go of the need to carry the burden of resentment. Forgiveness through revision is not about condoning the past, but about freeing ourselves from its grip. The beauty of revision is that it is entirely within our control. No matter how deeply ingrained a memory may feel, we have the power to revisit and reinterpret it. The more we practice, the more natural it becomes. Each act of revision strengthens our ability to shape our inner world, and by extension, our outer reality. Ultimately, revision is about reclaiming our power as creators of our own lives. It reminds us that we are not defined by what has happened to us, but by how we choose to respond to it. The past does not have to be a weight we carry, it can be a source of wisdom, strength, and growth. By revising our memories, we free ourselves to live fully in the present and to create a future unburdened by the pains of yesterday. This is the gift of revision, a gift we can give to ourselves at any moment. Letting go is one of the most liberating yet challenging acts we can undertake. It is not simply the act of forgetting or abandoning what has been, but a profound inner shift, a release of the emotional and mental attachments that keep us tethered to the past. Letting go is not about dismissing the importance of what we have experienced, but about choosing to no longer carry the weight of it. It is an act of trust in life, a declaration that we are ready to step forward unburdened and open to the possibilities that await. At its core, letting go begins with acceptance. We must first recognize what we are holding on to and why. Often we cling to pain, resentment, or loss because it has become a part of our identity. It feels safer to hold on to the familiar, even if it hurts, than to face the unknown. But letting go is not about erasing the past, it is about making peace with it. It means acknowledging what has happened, honoring the lessons it has taught us, and then releasing the grip it has on our hearts and minds. One of the greatest barriers to letting go is the belief that holding on keeps us in control. We think that by replaying the past, we can somehow change it or protect ourselves from future pain. But this is an illusion. The past cannot be changed, and clinging to it only drains our energy and focus from the present moment. Letting go requires a shift in perspective, a willingness to see that holding on does not serve us. It is a conscious choice to prioritize our well being over our attachment to what was. Letting go is not a passive act, it is an active practice of self liberation. It requires us to confront our emotions, feel them fully, and then release them. This process can be uncomfortable because it brings us face to face with our vulnerabilities and fears. However, it is through this confrontation that we find freedom. Imagine carrying a heavy bag filled with stones. Each stone represents a hurt, a regret, or an unfulfilled expectation. The longer you carry the bag, the heavier it feels. But the moment you decide to set it down, you experience relief. Letting go works in the same way. It is a decision to put down the emotional burdens we have been carrying, freeing ourselves to move forward. A key aspect of letting go is forgiveness. Forgiveness does not mean condoning harmful actions or forgetting what has occurred. It is about releasing the emotional charge and freeing ourselves from the grip of anger, resentment, or guilt. Forgiveness is a gift we give ourselves, not the person who hurt us. It allows us to cut the cords that tie us to the past and reclaim our power. Forgiving ourselves is equally important. We often hold on to guilt or shame for things we wish we had done differently. Letting go means acknowledging our humanity, learning from our mistakes, and choosing self compassion over self judgment. Trust is also essential in the process of letting go. It is about trusting that life has a greater plan, even if we cannot see it in the moment. It is about believing that what is meant for us will not pass us by, and that every ending holds the seed of a new beginning. This trust allows us to release our need for control and surrender to the flow of life. It is not about giving up, but about aligning ourselves with the natural rhythm of change and growth. Letting go does not mean forgetting or erasing what has been, but stepping into a new relationship with it. It means carrying the lessons and wisdom forward while leaving behind the pain and attachment. It is an act of self love and a declaration of our readiness to embrace the present moment fully. When we let go, we make space for new experiences, new relationships, and new opportunities. We open ourselves to the infinite possibilities that life has to offer. In the end, letting go is a practice, not a one time event. It is something we return to again and again as we navigate the complexities of life. Each time we let go of what no longer serves us, we take a step closer to our authentic selves. We rediscover our strength, our resilience, and our capacity for joy. Letting go is not an end, it is a beginning, a gateway to freedom, peace, and the limitless potential of the life that lies ahead.